All right, what is going on? How y'all doing out there? Good to see y'all here in the Uncle Steve's Lounge. Trying to get my music to go off. I had my music going on, but I guess it didn't. What's going on, y'all? It is 8:45 on Monday, March the 13th. You're in the lounge with Uncle Steve. This is what we call the Monday Aftermath. We usually talk about everything that goes on with the Falcons during the weekend. And in this case, what has gone on today? So today, as Ice Cube saith, today it was a good day for the Atlanta Falcons as they got a chance to stretch a little bit of their monetary power and do some things today that they haven't been able to do. I mean, I'm trying to remember again the last time we were able to have so many moves. A lot of the times over the last year, we've had to wait until that third or fourth day before we sign somebody to a 1-year, $2.5 million contract. But today we were able to go out, and you can kind of see what Terry is doing. He's prioritizing a couple of positions. No position more expensive than the guard position, and that's Chris Lindstrom. Re-signing Chris, which I think is a foregone conclusion. It's not like that was going to be brain surgery that we brought him back in. Glad that he was not only re-signed, but you're showing that you're taking care of your own. Well, of course, little known news: we re-signed Keith Smith at fullback. Also re-signed the punter Bradley Pinion, and that's kind of good. So that was the part where you re-sign your own. Then we went out to New Orleans and went to our little rivals and grabbed up David Onyemata, and on a deal that was probably a little bit more expensive than I thought it was going to be. But that being said, it's a need. So I'm glad to see that happen. And then everything started off today with the trade with New England to solidify the tight end position. So again, just lots of stuff going on today. Not sure we've done that before, where it's been this much excitement this early. So I want to hear what you all are thinking. Tell me how you're thinking. We'll get in the chat. I'll put the link up in a few minutes after we go over a couple of these signings, and still a couple of rumors going around of who we might have been looking at, and just overall in the NFL, just a big day, man. I mean, Hargrave going to San Francisco. That was a move that I was not expecting. And boy, San Francisco said, hey, we just gonna keep the train rolling, man. That's a big move for them. Also, 49ers signing Sam Darnold to a contract. So that's going to be interesting to kind of see if they're going to go with waiting out Purdy for the injury. Trey Lance, is he going to start the season? So they got some backup. Just a lot of good stuff, a lot of good information. So let's get right to it, man. Let's see what y'all talking about here in the chat. And I came in a little bit late. I'm sorry. Usually I come in a little earlier, but I had some things I wanted to take care of. But you knew it was I wasn't going to be able to get through this day without talking about some of these signings. Andrew, what's going on, brother? Jesse Bates to the Falcons. Yeah, that was a big one right there. Kind of the one that we, obviously had some hints about ahead of time. So not a super surprise, but to have a genuine safety in here to roam the middle, and we haven't had that in a long time. I know we had Rico the years of the Super Bowl. I would say from a safety who was really good for us, in my opinion, probably the best safety we've had since Willie Moore was here. He couldn't, unfortunately, stay off that injured list, but he is somebody that I looked at as really good safety in here. John Brooks in the house saying my big country voice. Terry F. Baby was in his bag today. Yes, sir. Terry Fontenot is the man of the hour. What's going on, Winston? Good to see you, man. Glad to have you in here again. Like he said, please like and subscribe if you're in the chat. Great content every time. I appreciate that. Brother Millie Mills in the house. What's going on? John says, Uncle Steve is late. No. I said 8:45. I sit down, and what I have to do is I probably have to get that YouTube lined up with the same thing I sent out of Facebook. I'll start scheduling that on YouTube. My apologies for doing that. Brother Winston's in the house as well. I'm sorry, not Winston. Brother Rusty's in the house. First person on Facebook to jump in here. Appreciate you, brother. False start in the house as always. Chris in the house. Big time Frank is in the house. What's going on? You're in the field, bro. Oh my goodness, man. Oh man, how I do not long for those days of being in the field. Boy, we used to, man, and I know you've been to Baumholder. Been to Germany. When I was stationed in Baumholder, we used to have to go to Grafenwehr for those 30, 45 day. Oh, man, that was not good. But, brother, glad to have you in here, man. Good to hear you in here tonight. Terrence, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. How you doing, Lisa? Good to see you on Facebook. Thank you for joining us in Atlanta Bird Gang. I appreciate that. What's up, RJ? Say, how's Terry Fontenot cooking so far? He's cooking well, man. He got the seasoning. He got the butter. He got everything in there, man. Facebook user said, let's go. Let's get the business. Good signings. It was a good start today. Very much a good start. David in the house. What's going on? It's been a good start so far. Nephew, what's going on, man? How you doing? Armani's in the house. How you doing, my friend? Christian's in the house. Appreciate you. Anthony is in here as well. What's going on, brother? Rusty says, excited about Bates, but Oyamata cannot be our signature addition to the D-line. He is good, but we need a real game changer on that defensive line with Grady. Hopefully we re-sign Rashawn Evans. I would hope that we bring Evans back too. I was kind of interested. I heard somebody talking about some numbers for Evans that were going into the double-digit millions per year. And I was like, I don't know about all that. I would almost rather wait for Troy Anderson's development before I go that far. But as far as Oyamata is concerned, I wouldn't exactly, kind of place that in a blockbuster type sign. And I think that's just like, let's get some solid talent in here. We have been so, it's almost like saying, Rusty, we have been eating crumbs so long. Then when somebody gives us a full cracker, now we want the top of the line cracker that we got. You know what I'm saying? You can't, we can't jump all the way sometimes like that. Well, you can, but you can only decide on one or two positions as far as that's concerned. Let's not also act like we still don't have Taquan in here, and we might have a couple of guys that we possibly could rotate in and out. You're not going to be able to go out here in free agency in the draft and get A-list players at every position when it comes to the defensive line and the offensive line. Can they develop into that? Yes. But as far as going out and pay for it, you can't do that. There was no way you were going to pay that Hargrave money. Hargrave money. There's no way you were going to do that. So if you're going to build a defensive line, get somebody at least competent enough with Grady to go in there. I think that's been the problem. And I think this was a good signing. I think this was good. I think his upside is not bad. I like that. Lisa says some folks thought Fontenot wasn't going to cook. Oh, well, hey, we had to wait and see. Again, prior to today and prior to this week, because I'm sure we're not finished, the worst thing about the off season is not knowing. So now that we know the things they have prioritized, they prioritize getting Lindstrom done. I don't know. I haven't heard any whispers about McGarry, whether they're still trying to do that or not. I know a lot of people were thinking we might be going out to Ben Jones, possibly to solidify the center position, maybe move Dahlman back to guard and make them compete on that. We're not going to be able to fill every spot with a high-price free agent. But there were a couple of spots that you really needed. That safety position, you really needed somebody in there. We had no one at the safety. And maybe this will give an opportunity for Richie Grant to get a little better, to learn under a seasoned vet. Somebody, I don't even think Jesse Bates is a top 5 safety. But again, he's probably better than any safety we've had since Willie Moore, in my opinion. So it's gonna, put itself together. I think that's part of the game. Part of the game is getting the personnel in there. I think as far as the defense is concerned too, I wouldn't exactly just say, Dave Oyamata, is he really the answer? Well, in some ways, I kind of warned folks about this when Coach Nielsen came over here from the Saints, and they have about 5 guys now. Tuttle signed with someone else today. I can't remember who he signed with. But they have about 3 or 4 guys over there that know how he does business. So it doesn't shock me at all that this was like one of the first signings today when they start talking about some of those guys transitioning over because they're familiar with his system. I also think Coach Nielsen is brought in here to teach. I think in his whole overall scheme, I mean, not scheme, all the coaches that they brought in, these guys are not only brought in here to coach, they called in here to teach and develop. And it seems like even with Dean Pease, I'm not saying he didn't do an admirable job with what he had. I think they were saying, hey, we're going to bring some guys in here. We need a coach in here that can come and really jumpstart these guys. So Charles B in the house says, hello, Falcons. Got an A- today in free agency. You're still in my thunder, brother. I was going to ask the grades a little later on, but that's all good. I appreciate it. RJ say, what's up, Uncle Steve? How you like Terry Fontenot's cook? I think I did that already. King Richie, what's going on, man? How you doing? Say, already top 15 defense on paper. On paper. That's good. I am excited about what we did today. Christian says, I have to say, Uncle Steve, I feel like we can all take a deep breath and watch this rebuild come to life finally. And I think that's the bigger thing. We have been waiting for a payoff. And I even though I know we're supposed to have a little bit of patience, I think this fan base deserves a payoff. Today was a really good start as far as, hey, let's see what the Falcons with legitimate pieces, let's see how they look. Lisa says Terry was sharper than Phipps Plaza today. Say we lit. Oh yeah, brought back Carter. Yep, Lorenzo Carter's in the house. Jeremy, what's going on, brother? Says great start. Worried that Oyamata might be a little too much, but for the Bane, but a great day. Yeah, I think that's a legitimate concern. But here's the problem too, Jeremy. We're still the Atlanta Falcons. If you're going to come play for the Atlanta Falcons, if I was somebody on the other side coming to play for the Atlanta Falcons, as much as you, I, and a few other people's bleed black and red, this is not a favorable place to land. So if you're trying to come to a team that hasn't been successful for the last 5 years, your biggest selling point is going to be how much you're going to pay me. So when you start talking about Aryamada, and when you start talking about Jesse Bates, you start or whoever else is coming in, they know coming to Atlanta, there's probably going to be a little cherry on top because it's not like going to San Francisco. It's not like going to Kansas City or the Eagles or even Dallas, where Dallas is shown 24/7 on ESPN, NBC, CBS, Fox. It's not the same coming to Atlanta. So there probably is a premium that you'll have to pay to come here. Jimmy says more space coming with the Jonnu restructure. Yeah, Jonnu Smith from New England Patriots for a 7th round pick. I don't want to ignore that. Yeah, there's going to, and remember, we still aren't to March 15th yet. So there still could be some restructuring going on because all the teams have to be under the cap by Wednesday. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think, are still over the cap. As a matter of fact, I think New Orleans is too. So we still have, a couple of things to do where we can work with that cap space. David Starks Lindstrom was the one I was most excited about because I didn't want to play any games with him. Look, the mere fact that they came right out and got him, I think it was exciting that we're not playing and we went out and got our guys. Facebook user, did we lock in Bates? We have Bates. None of this is 100% official until Wednesday, but he's here. Marcus Allen is in the house. What's going on, Marcus? Good to see you. RJ says, good night, today was epic. Can't wait to see what else we do. That makes 2 of us. Rusty's in here, says, don't know if you ever watched this podcast, Locked On Falcons. Yeah, I watch it. On YouTube, it's a decent watch. He had Josh Kendall from The Athletic on tonight. They were talking about AJ's contract next year. Josh Kendall says he does not believe the front office is sold on AJ, yet paying him like a top corner next year. And he's a dude with inside intel. AJ is going to have to step up. Well, I always said that as good as AJ was in his first year, I don't think it's an automatic that they're going to do that job immediately. I don't. I like his play, but you can argue from his second year, he had a so-so year last year. You went from second team All-Pro to getting toasted quite a bit. So the 5th-year option pickup is a plus. But AJ is not somebody that I would just say it's an automatic. He's going to get his bread too. Speaking of getting bread, man, one of the big time rollers, high style, high flying, limousine driving. What else, Rick? What did I say?
Rolex wearing.
My brother Tiny is in the house, man. What is going on, my brother? How you doing today, man?
I'm doing very well, Steve. How's it going today, bro?
Man, I mean, listen, I can't sit here and pretend I'm not excited. This is something we haven't. I was just starting off saying this is a position we haven't been in. I'm trying to think. Can you think of the last year that we made significant moves like this? And also keeping in mind, I guess the salary cap wasn't as huge as it was 10 years ago. But when's the last time you've seen us really go through this shopping list and, picking up folks like this on day one?
Right off my top of my head, maybe the 2008 Matt Ryan year. You brought in Michael Turner and true. Guys like that. So that's the first year that really pops out of my head.
Our buddy Thomas Dimitroff, who was and every time I hear people sometimes dog him out, you have to remember that he went through 2 rebuilds in this franchise. And, the first one, he did pretty well from 08 to 12. And the second tier, I would say, was 15 to 17 when he tried to, rebuild when you brought in Freeman and Alex Mack the next year, Sanu, and tried to fill in spots like that. But this is a whole different ball game, man. Jesse Bates, man. Just right off the rip, man, what's your thought on this? I think the Lindstrom thing, we can all agree. I think we kind of figured that was going to happen. I don't think that was a shock to anybody. Right. But the Jesse Bates signing, how you feel about that?
I like the signing. I liked it. I think pretty much of all of us Falcons fans who pay a lot of attention in the offseason, none of us were really shocked because, we've seen hints drop, for the last few weeks. But I'm glad that it's semi-official. I don't think it can become official until Wednesday. But I'm very happy for it, man. They're taking significant strides to beef up the defense. I should say beef up because he plays in the backfield, but to build the defense and make the defense much better going into the 2023 season. So I like the move. I like the move. I can't say that I was super ecstatic with the contract, but like you just alluded to earlier, hey man, one of your selling points got to be, well, we got the cash.
If he had somebody think about what you're doing in the negotiating room. If Cincinnati is even trying to rebuild, right? Cincinnati needs to spread that money out because they about to pay big money Joe Burrow next year, so they can't afford to take on huge salary hits next year. You go to the Falcons where you say, 7-10 team and whatever, but they could probably pay you $6 to $7 more million annually. This is your time. This is that first real free agent contract. I don't blame the young man for probably taking a little more. And again, Atlanta, we're in a position where what do we offer aside of adult activity at night, adult entertainment? I mean, what else are we offering the young guys coming in? I don't know what else you're going to do, bro.
Right. I mean, because it's only so far Hot Wings going to go when you talk to multi-millionaires, man. That and Waffle House, you only can campaign on that for so long. But yeah, you're absolutely right, man. 5 consecutive losing seasons and not the most storied history as far as NFL franchises go. So you got to pay to play a little bit, and we paid a little bit with him.
Yeah, we did. Let me shout out a couple of folks coming in here. Terrence, IG No, Bryant Branch with the Jesse Bates. I can get Kalijah Cansey or Will Anderson. Jimmy Wayne in the house says next signings I see is Trey Herndon, Rashawn Evans, and Yannick. Yeah, Yannick Ngakoue. That might be an interesting signing. I might see how much money he's talking about, but that could be an interesting signing too. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. Gregory says, great day in Falcons Nation. Hey, how you like that sneak peek? Perfect timing. Hey, bro, that was good. He had some nice shoes up there showing on the YouTube for us. Travis is in the house. What's up? These Desmians are on clouds here because we would have the defense. Don't know how we're going to score, but we got defense, baby. That's a good point. Obviously, with the money we have, and they still haven't finished. I don't think the restructuring is done right now, Toddy. But I'm seeing quarterbacks go off the board. I'm not trying to. I don't want to doom and gloom the group right now because we did make major moves. But I'm seeing Jimmy Garoppolo go off. I'm seeing Sam Darnold go off. I'm seeing Baker Mayfield go off. And by no means am I trying to say they're the second coming of Montana, Elway, and Manning. But I am saying that maybe this is a sign that is this going to be Ritter in a Jacoby Brissett? What you think?
It's kind of starting to look that way because pretty much all the what I like to call high caliber veteran quarterbacks are pretty much have been left the free agency period. So it does seem to be that the team is swaying in a direction of Ritter, but Fontenot did say he's going to add to the quarterback room, or they might throw us one of them Tim Wakefield knuckleballs and They might draft a quarterback at 8. Things remain to be seen. Or you know what, Steve? Now this is you know me. I'm the Lamar pot stirrer. But
if you're the pot stirrer, I'm the taster because I've been trying to. I've been liking what I'm hearing about that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Some have indicated, like, you know what, Falcons may go through their free agency. They may draft at number 8, and then they may trade for Lamar. So we shall see. We shall see. I just really, I'm hoping they bring somebody in there, as we've been saying for the last few months, man. I would just hate to go in there with him as the uncontested starter with no viable competition. But I guess we'll see, man. I still think they got something up their sleeve, so we shall see.
I think so. I hope so, man. I really do. All right, we got coming in here on his brand new rooms to go sofa. Lazy boy chair. Oh no, I take that back. That's Target. My fault. In his new Target black plush chair is our buddy, our pal, our compadre, John in the house. What's going on, Bubba?
Look like he done bought an iPad, Steve.
Look, I'm looking over there. That's some technology going in there. That iPad look bigger than that TV he used to have behind his back.
The one you got to turn with the knob and some pliers.
How you gentlemen, see, this is an example of what you can do when you got money. The Falcons, when the Falcons started spending money, I went right to the store because I had a little extra money to spend. Man, this is just like those first of the month retirement check blues, Jack.
Oh, man.
Hey, you got the money, you can spend it. It looked like, man, we just jumped out of the gate just as soon as the doors bust open. We were at one of those after Thanksgiving sales. We had one of those after Thanksgiving sales, man, going and buying stuff. And I'm kind of encouraged by what we have purchased so far. Mm-hmm. Going ahead and locking Lindstrom up, getting another tight end, because we really don't have a true, big tight end, blocking type tight end. And that defensive line helps. So I guess we are committed to a 4-3 this year, or something that's going to be conducive to assisting our MVP, Grady Jarrett. I mean, man, oh man, this man has been maligned and beat up for so long that it was just ridiculous. It was just ridiculous.
I bet you he's probably happy today to hear some investments going on in that defense as well. Just shout out to everybody in the chat. Todrick, I see you, brother. Kojak, Mills, 1967, brother Kivia's in the house. Dan Burst, ATL, LAX, Latoya Jones in the house. Miss B is in here. 3 Dirty, I see you. Gats Boy in the house. DeMarcus Make a Change in the house. We got so many of y'all in here, and don't feel like we are not looking at these comments. We just going through them real quick. I appreciate patronage and appreciate everyone coming in and checking us. I did throw the link in the chat if you wanted to come out and tell us how you feel about the draft. I'm going to ask my illustrious panel right now if they had a scale of 1 to 10 on day one. And how long has it been since we've been able to say that? Day one, what is your overall rating of what Atlanta did today from 1 to 10? And I'm going to start with you, John, since you just came in.
Well, you know me. Get it off the paper, put it on the field. I'm going to give them a 5 just for GP.
Wow. Never satisfied. Never satisfied. I like it, though. I mean, I like it.
I got to see how this car drive. I got to see, I gotta see how this rug lay on the floor. I gotta see how this furniture fits in the house. But you went and got some good pieces. You went and got some good pieces. Now, got to see what they translate into being.
Talk to me, Toddy. What you got?
I'm gonna give him a 7.25. 7.25. I'm pretty satisfied. I'm not overwhelmed, but I'm pretty satisfied with what they did. We all knew we had a lot of money and they went and spent some of it early. So 7.25. I think they've done good thus far.
Just in time to get in on this question is our buddy David is in the house. David, I heard you were over there cheering. I heard the gunshots in the air, and I heard the fireworks going off over there. We made that first comment. What do you think, brother? I know you've been listening. What's your grade from 1 to 10? What's your rating of day one transactions from the Falcons?
I'm gonna give them an 8 right now. I think well, y'all say we overpaid. Well, we overpaid a little bit for Onyemata. I'm gonna switch that. I think we overpaid just the mic for Jesse Bates. Not too much. Maybe about $2-3 million, but we've overpaid just the mic. Now Onyemata's 11 to 12 annually. I think that's just the reality of the NFL now. You're gonna pay that for defensive line help, and he's not here to get 10 plus sacks, people. He's here to take some of that pressure off Grady Jarrett, so Grady can get some one-on-ones and maybe improve that pass rush a little bit.
I agree with you 100% about the sacks. I think everyone wants to, and we're scared. Remember, we're the same franchise that went out and drafted Vic Beasley because we thought he was going to be the sack master. He's not being brought in here, in my opinion, to get multiple sacks. I think he's in here to, I take that back. He's not in here to get double-digit sacks. I think he's in here to give a collective push up front, something we haven't had here probably since 2017, the last time we actually and we didn't really affect the quarterback as much in 17. We had a better defense, but so I'll go back to even 2016, the last time we affected the quarterback. I'm gonna give a quick rating right now. I think I'm right along. I'm at a 7, and the reason why I'm at a 7 is 70 is passing. So I'm not surprised that we did a lot of things today. I would have liked to see that number a little bit lower for Jesse Bates if I could, and Onyemata as if I could have as well. But again, we're the Atlanta Falcons. We're not, the top tier team. So when you're not a top tier team, you got to pay the price with the cherry on top. So I'm going to bring a couple of people in here individually. We're going to get your rating on here. Brother Greg is in the house. What's going on, Gregory? How you doing, brother?
What's going on? What's good with you, man?
Man, what's good with you, man? How you feeling about today, man? Give me your rating and tell me why.
Man, I looked at, as soon as we signed Jesse Bates, I went and looked at his highlights, man. Boy left and right across the field, man. He left and right across the field, and he can cover. So, hey, I ain't disappointed at all. Not at all.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be a good move. What about the tight end? We haven't talked about him at all, Greg. Before, how do you like that move coming from New England? Jonnu Smith coming in here, a lot of touchdowns. He's a big time scorer. Hey. Now, in our offense, we know we don't score a lot of red zone touchdowns. But how do you think he can help us?
I tell you what, on that aspect, I think he's comparable a little bit faster than Austin Hooper was when he was in his prime, man.
Okay.
He good, man.
Okay. No, I'm not saying he wasn't good. He's a nice contract.
Yeah, he's a better version. Yeah, he's a better version of Hooper, man. I think we did all right. And you just think about that in a double tight end set, man. You got Pitts on one side, then you got this man here on the other side. And I mean, I think that'll help cover if we go that route and not go look for a quarterback. I think that kind of helps Rudd out in a little bit because he got some quick dump offs if they run that on a tight end set, man.
Yeah, that's
that'll
true.
That'll cover up some of the inconsistencies with Rudd if we don't go find a quarterback. I think that'll help him out a little bit because now you got CP in the flats, and then you got the running back that broke the record. You can hit him in the flat. Then you got it's a lot. It's gonna be a lot to prepare for. I mean, I don't see too many folks that could stop Pitts and Jonnu in a double tight end set, man. That's too much to worry about.
Yeah, that's a whole lot on the plate. Greg, before I break out, man, give me one of them shoes, man. I don't see them shoes show me one of them shoes in the chat, man, so people can see
let me
what you're working with.
Yeah, let me show y'all a sneak peek of these right here. I don't know if y'all can see that bird on there.
Okay.
That's a little sneak peek.
Okay.
Are these Falcons right here? That's a little sneak peek.
Okay. Now tell the Charger
right here.
That is a Georgia thing. Oh, that's nice, man. Tell the folks where they can get with you, brother.
Okay, you can follow me on Instagram at GQB Custom Kits on Instagram, and then I'm on TikTok at Gregory Brown 1981.
Do me a favor, Greg. After this is over, instant message me that Instagram, and I'll put it on the YouTube thing after this is over with.
Will do.
You the man, brother. We gonna move. Well, go ahead.
One more thing, I like with this guy we got from New Orleans. I think with him and Grady, man, it's gonna take a lot of. You can't double team both, man.
No.
You cannot double team both. It's gonna help Grady out a lot. So I mean, even if he gets 7 sacks and Grady gets 7, you almost have the total of what we had in a while, man.
It's almost the exact total,
bruh. That's sad to say, but you're
exactly. I love it, man. I love it, and we still got room to go.
Yes, sir. Brother Greg, we appreciate you, brother. You take it easy, man. We're gonna grab some other folks up in here.
Always, I'm gonna send that message to you right now.
Appreciate you, brother. That brother Gregory Brown in the house. And here, our brother Winston is in here. What's up, Winston? Winston in the, I don't know where Winston is. Winston in the alleyway. He's probably trying to.
Man, I'm in the car, man.
Yeah. The little kid knocking on the door, talking about Mr. Winston.
We're going about their business. Go to bed. You got to school them up.
All right, panel. I'm gonna ask y'all another question. We're gonna start that with Winston right quick. Obviously, this is day one. We got a long way to go. There's a lot of free agents. Who is one person who hasn't been signed yet, or who we haven't? And keep in mind, and I'm saying signed. Tidy was right. All of these are during the tampering period, so they just in principle are signed, and everything's official Wednesday. Name one free agent that hasn't been connected to a signing that you like to see in Atlanta. Go ahead, Winston, since you starting us off on this one.
Yannick Ngakoue. He's like, it doesn't make sense how many teams he can bounce around with, but his number is consistent. He averages about 8 sacks or better every year. So if we can bring that 8 sacks to Atlanta, especially with Onyemata edition, we might got something. Put AK on the other side, we might have something serious.
That could be interesting. Brother Tidy, who you got that you haven't heard from yet?
I'm going to go and say, Juju. Smith-Schuster. I think we can get him for pretty modest. I'm not saying cheap, but modest compared to, the wide receiver market. Pretty modest price. Very experienced wide receiver, championship pedigree. Still fairly young. So I think if we can get Juju, man, we ain't got to worry about drafting a wide receiver. We can fill other parts of the team out. And like I said, I don't think he would cost us 15, 16, 17, 18 million per season.
I like that sign. And let me ask you a question. Because he has hardware now, I mean, let's keep it real, man. These agents gonna come up and try to, snowball Atlanta because they're saying, hey, you need us more than we need you. You don't think that might be an issue? That little extra cherry on top since he won that ring and was significant in that Super Bowl. I should add.
Yeah, very, very significant, and also got kind of like a brand name too. So it might cost an extra $1.5 million, to get him on here. But he seemed like a body tap, kind of guy. So he might look out for him. He seemed like a body tap type of fella. So you might get him to take $700,000 less just to be closer to body tap. You know what I'm saying? Straight up.
Yeah.
Tidy. The man gonna have to leave the place to play now. I don't want to get stuck over there now.
I know it.
Hey, it's some of them that don't leave once they get in there. Trust me.
Just keep driving away from it, and I think we'll be okay. Just when Ja come to time, you just have to stay inside.
You gotta go.
You gotta keep him away from Pac-Man.
Oh no, we
gotta keep him away from Pac-Man, man.
We gonna definitely keep him away from there. David,
settled down a little bit.
Yeah, he had. You know what? I did see him on something. He seemed like he is kind of
toned it down
just a little bit.
Pac-Man said he goes to the strip club just to eat the food.
Oh yeah, Winston. I know you ain't in Atlanta or in Georgia, but that's actually normal in Atlanta.
Yeah. I've been hearing it. I've been hearing it because like when they did that I Am Athlete with Jermaine Dupri, he was like, man, like he said he had a meeting with Roger Goodell, and he had went up to New York and he went to the strip club, but he had somebody follow him. And they was like, "What you doing in the strip club?" He was like, "I'm going to go get dinner."
Yeah, it's normal. People don't even look at you funny about it. Oh, okay, about to go. That's normal thing. It's normal thing.
Yeah, okay. If you go in the strip club, you going in there to throw money.
Man, look, hey,
I'm looking at in the chat, fellas. They say Caden Ellis is somebody that we just signed. Am I looking at that? Right.
Yeah, I just saw coming from New Orleans.
Caden Ellis from the Saints. Another signing. I'm trying to see if I see any numbers out here for that.
Linebacker.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna sit here and try to lie and say I'm super familiar with him. Anybody more familiar with him up here?
No, it sounds like camp body to me.
Yeah, it does.
No, I think he's a rotational outside linebacker.
Okay. So special teams possibly might be taking Felipe. Gotcha.
They got Felipe listed at number 3 on the depth chart at quarterback.
Let's hope that changes. Sister Latoya says Juju has a taste of championship now. I doubt if he's backtracking unless Lamar is here or a lot of money. And Drew also comes in and says Juju wants to be a 1, so he's going to want 1 money. That could be true. David, who's your guy?
I was thinking. I'm thinking along same long line title, but I'm thinking more Jacoby Myers. I think Jacoby's going to be able to stretch the field a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm going. So I'm going far as the receiver's concerned. That's where I'm thinking and like Titus said, we don't have to draft. We don't have to pick up one in the draft. But Juju's kind of an underneath guy. And I think him and Drake just gonna bump into each other. I'm thinking I need somebody to stretch the field. That's the reason I'm going Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, that actually is not a bad call. I think he might be trying to get paid.
I looked at his market value today. They say it's about $12.5 million.
Yeah. I don't know if we trying to
want about 14, 15.
Yeah. Are we trying to spend that much there?
I mean, we need a 2.
Or number 2?
We need a 2.
Probably not.
Not for 11 million.
Yeah, probably not.
Not for 11 million. I'm sorry, y'all. That might be my thing. right there. Yeah, not for 11 million. I don't think.
Yeah,
That's
true.
yeah. As far as that, all right, big. The big technology guy. Who are you looking at as a free agent pickup?
Mr. Spock. Oh, excuse me. Jacoby Brissett. Been trained under Frank Reich. He's got real quarterback coach training. I saw Andy Dalton there, but that's all right. But Jacoby Brissett. Now they got one of my big Hawaiians out there. I'm trying to find that man's name. I can't even pronounce his name.
What's you saying about that?
I want that end of the vowel, whoever it is, to Uli or and Obi whatever his name. I want the end of the vowel. I need some thick ankles up there. Now, was I the last one, or did you?
Yes, you're the last one.
Now, okay, I wanted to ask this. Now, who gonna replace McGarry over there? I kind of hate my boy leaving. When he first got here, man, I was worried about that oil pump. But man, he worked. He really worked and became something. But
I'm hoping he don't leave, John. I really am, and I think us signing Lindstrom so early, in this process was maybe a sign that they wanted to get, their number one lineman out the way and not show him any kind of slight or disrespect by giving him his money first. And hopefully Lindstrom will get signed, later on. I'm sorry, McGarry will get signed later on this week. I'm like you, John. I would hate to lose him. And I used to be the biggest Caleb McGarry hater in the world. I used to stay on his ass. Pardon my French.
Yeah, I was scared for him. Oh, see, man, I was when Thomas Dimitrov saw him in a dream and picked him. Oh, Jesus Christ! But the man, he's a road grader. He's a road grader.
I think what scares me about the only thing that scares me about McGarry, it's almost like those basketball players that ball out in year 4 of the 4-year contract. And I want to be cautious about that because he really did improve his game. But if you were given the incentive because they didn't pick you up for that 5th year last year, I think it would bother me is what took you to step your game up. It took you to take that option off.
Yeah, the money motivated you.
Right. And so
then what happened when you get the money?
Well, but that's my point. He did a great job. Obviously, I think some of the ratings that you used to pull up sometimes, Toddy, on a lot of those weeks, when Lindstrom was up in the 90s, McGarry would be right behind him sometimes. Yeah. When you start looking at what he did in the run game, I would, if he came at a reasonable price, and let's keep it real, reasonable is probably going to be right around $10 million. Reasonable. I can see it, but if my 5th year was taken away, and I just saw what did my man get, the other offensive tackle, Taylor, the guy went to Kansas City, he got a nice deal today. That's
left tackle money though. You talking about Jawan Taylor?
Jawan Taylor, 4 years, $80 million. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that is left tackle. Yeah,
left tackle.
Yeah, but that right tackle ain't gonna be $10 million less for the top end. I'm thinking the top end still gonna be somewhere about $15 million. I don't think the Falcons are gonna do that.
And honestly, Steve, that at $10 million, that probably you might can argue that that's kind of cheap for him, to be totally honest.
Yeah, that's low ball.
Yeah, it might be a bit of a low ball off.
I got him around like 14.5 per year.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Falcons are gonna make that in. I don't think they're gonna make that investment in him. I think Falcons will be looking for a favor for him to do that. what I have seen, and I think if I saw correctly, it looks like a lot of people before I go on, a lot of people are chiming in on Ellis. Facebook user says he's coming to take a starting spot, 78 tackles, 7 sacks in 11 games. Ellis balled out when given the opportunity to play. Somebody say he's good in this fantasy league. Outside linebacker, WGCG, what's going on, says edge rusher. So, yeah. And RJ, thank you, RJ, says 3-year deal, 21.5, $11 million guaranteed. So that sounds like probably a 2-year deal if it's $11 million up front. So it sounds like it's not going to cost you a whole lot. So that's bringing another linebacker into a room where you're already kind of thin when you start talking about a young Troy Anderson, benched Michael Walker. That lines up at least to be somebody with a little bit of experience. I like that at least. Let me ask y'all a question, and I'm sorry, it's the elephant in the room now that we have paid a little bit of this money. Again, the quarterback room has gotten small. I know people don't want to talk about this from a sense of, y'all bringing this up again. But there aren't a lot of quarterbacks out there, folks. Right now, Derek Carr came off. We know Derek Carr came off. Jimmy Garoppolo has come off. Mike White, Jarrett Stentham, Case Keenum, Sam Darnold. Here's your list, y'all. Here's the list. And let's face it, we're probably going to get one of these guys. Carson Wentz, Marcus Mariota, not even going to Baker Mayfield, Teddy Bridgewater, Mason Rudolph, Jacoby Brissett, Joe Flacco,
if you say it quick,
worth mentioning. So out of those guys right there, and I know everybody wants to throw Jacoby Brissett straight up. You know what? Out of this group I just named, Jacoby Brissett might be the top dude on that list.
That's one.
So I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back around. David, start me off. When you start looking at it, and we'll get to the second part of the quarterback thing, but looking at this right here, knowing that we're probably going to bring in a vet no matter what, who do you see? I'm going to put this up on the screen, see if I can.
Oh, God. God. Whew.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's pretty much a pitch, Steve. But if I gotta choose one, yes.
Look at that list, man. Look at that list, and more importantly, look at the ages. You talk about 30. They have Tom Brady because he officially is still on the books with.
Yeah.
But you're talking about only 1, 2, 3 guys under the age of 30.
Yeah.
And everyone else is just kind of a washout.
Yeah, I guess if I gotta pick one, I guess it's gonna be Taylor Heineke. If I just have to pick one, it's probably gonna be Taylor Heineke. He's won games. You know what I'm saying? He's shown himself to be a viable backup. So if I gotta pick one, I guess it's just gonna be Taylor Heineke.
Talk to me, Winston. What you got on this list?
Well, if we're picking off of that list right there, that means we don't automatically get rid of the job.
My thought.
Yeah, if we picking off that list, it's rid of the job. Like my mind is saying Brissett, but Brissett didn't do nothing with Cleveland last year, and that team was stacked. Right. So I'll probably go with Heineke too.
Right. It is very interesting. I when I keep hearing like I said, the popular name has been Jacoby Brissett, but Jacoby Brissett was given the keys to a nice car last year. When you think about it, and all he had to do was drive the car enough to get to game 11, a game 12, and he really couldn't do that. So, yeah, that's interesting. John, who you like on this list? Well, no, let me stop because I know what you're gonna say. Who do you have to pick on this list? Who would you pick on this list?
Well, I had already said Jacoby Brissett. I'm trying to remember what was going on with Cleveland to see if there were any mitigating circumstances about him having a car to drive, because you know, having a car to drive with no gas in it don't mean.
No, he had a defense. He had a loaded defense. He had Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt at running back. He had Amari Cooper and
David
Njoku at tight end. I mean, I don't know. Wasn't Denzel Ward in the backfield there for Cleveland this year? Wasn't Denzel Ward the cornerback?
Yeah.
He was
I mean, so again, and here's the thing, y'all. This is kind of a analogy too, because you could have all those pieces and put in a less than standard quarterback and go to Atlanta and get beat by 3 points. So before we start thinking about that game plan here. Anyway, going back to the question. So that's your guy.
Yeah, that's the one that I would pick. Because he, just like Dave said,
right.
Him, because I mean, you know, it's slim pickings. Either somebody's too old, or just like you brought out, there's a little taint on his name because of him not performing. So, you know, I'm going to stick with Jacoby Brissett.
Toddy, I know this is probably like hands on a chalkboard, this list to you. But the fact that you have to pick one of those that you see, and for the record, for those who wanted to see the bottom of that list, in case you wanted more, Nick Mullins, Drew Lock, Josh Johnson, Nate Sudfeld. So that's why I'm keeping it up here to the top. So everyone's like, there's more people down there, Steve. Like, yes, there are, but you don't want to see them. So what's your thoughts, brother?
Ooh, boy, this is such a conundrum. Because I think Winston indicated that we're at this point in the list, and chances are that we're headed toward Ritter started. But this is my conundrum. Initially, I'm thinking Heineke, but going back to the conundrum word, when I look at the market value for Heineke, he's right at about $20 million a year. Brissett is right at about $5.5 million per year. Right. So I'm thinking, like, if we want to at least get rid of one season to see what he does, conventional thinking would say, well, you need to sign Brissett. But I would rather sign Heineke because I think he's a better player. But if you give me somebody in the neighborhood of $20 million a year and you got Ritter on like a third round contract, you almost got to put Heineke going to camp. You almost have to put him as a QB1, because are you really going to pay a guy almost $20 million to sit on the bench for a team that just got out of salary cap hell?
Not with this team.
So that's my conundrum. I mean, but to give you, my mind says Heineke, but my reality says Brissett if I got to pick somebody.
And it's funny because each one of you, when you said it, there was such a deep pause. And because it is, when we thought about the getting rid of the salary cap, when we thought about we finally got Matt off the books. Yeah, we got no Mariota and stuff, and now we're down to this. And barring the Hail Mary this Wednesday, which we're going to get into in a second, barring a Hail Mary, this is just an awful list. This is awful. So I'm going to answer the question since I asked it by saying neither damn one of them. Because I don't want either of them. You know who I want.
Made us answer that.
You want the internet.
Steve, when you shopping for used cars, when you looking at used cars, man, I mean, and right now, what we're looking at is A to B transportation.
But here's the thing that's promised, man. Here's the thing that's promised. When we go back and look at the top of that list, and I apologize for taking it off, but when we go back and look at the top of that list and we start talking about people that Derek Carr, I kind of thought he was going to be the big time overpriced one. But man, I'm looking at Jimmy Garoppolo and what they paid him for this year.
That might be the steal right there.
When I saw that, boy, I can't even lie to you. I'm saying, man, if we knew that was the value, and again, you can live with that not working more than you can deal with $40 million not working, or even Derek Carr with $37 million not working.
Right.
But man, when I look at that, it seems like we're pushing a repeat button on having low-end paid quarterbacks, which most of the time, unless you're a rookie, means low-talented quarterbacks. There is nothing in here. Is there any thought that Jacoby Brissett has not reached his prime yet?
He is who he is. He is who he is now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there you go. So you just hit it on the head, Toddy. So what I'm telling the Falcons fan base to Steve, I'm telling the Falcon fan base, I want y'all to wait one more year before we eventually have this success, because we can put these people in place, but I'm telling you, we're going to have a Cleveland team where we got some good pieces, but we're still not going to be able to do anything until next year, which gets me Kelly, man, get in here, Kelly, if you can. Kelly said that list is depressing.
No bullshit.
That's why we had a hard time answering the question.
Kelly, get in here, man, if you can. I put the thing in there, man. So again, y'all, Wednesday is the official day that we can kind of see what's going on as far as, and Tidy had a really good video that you had the other day where you were showing the conversation between Mike Florio and Peter King when they were speaking about there was one team that still might be, and I'm not in Disneyland wishing upon the star, folks. He said there was still one of the teams that was still possibly interested in the business of Lamar Jackson. Now, when he said this, if I'm not mistaken, the only other quarterback on this list was Jimmy Garoppolo. So if Jimmy's gone, I know they weren't talking about negotiating for Carson Wentz. So the Falcons, to me, I still think they're in the business of Lamar Jackson. And this is not trying to get hopes up. This is not trying to make it fantasy land, everybody. But I'm also saying to myself, even with the moves made today, we're still 30. If I saw the record, if I saw the number right, still $33 million under the cap. And we haven't even restructured guys yet. We haven't restructured that Yann Smith contract from New England. We haven't done anything with, I don't think you can do anything with Jake. I think you can do something with Grady. But we haven't even done full restructuring. Like another 11. Say what now?
I said, if you do Grady, what is that? Another 11 million?
At least another 10. I think it's like 10 something. 10. But you can do some stuff with, that's a good little chunk, and you still might be able to do some things, fellas. If as y'all are sitting here today on March 13th, do you still attempt to throw a lifeline to see if they're still biting? Now, I'm not talking about $250 million guaranteed, but see if they're still biting. What you think, John? I'm gonna start with you.
Right now, I think that guaranteed figure is still negotiable. I think that guaranteed figure is still negotiable because, see, that's basically what the sticking point was with him in Baltimore. I read also today that he may sit the whole season out to try to get his price, whatever his price is going to be. And, like you say, until actual free agency starts and that Hail Mary comes Wednesday, depending upon what moves the Falcons make, we'll see. Depending upon what the Falcons do. And I would, they say they can sign all of the draft class and still get this man. Okay. As long as they can do that, that's fine. Go ahead and do that. You got your free agents. You got the pieces that you said that you needed. Okay, your restructuring that you need to do, get that done, and we'll see what money's left in the bank. Just see what money's left in the bank, and go, hey man, you want to come here? We can do this, we can do that, blah 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 blah. Okay, fine. That's what I'm looking at.
Well, if you're going to sign if you're going to sign, I don't know why James. If you're going to sign Lamar Jackson, you're not going to have to worry about some of that money for the draft because those picks will be probably going to Baltimore anyway, as far as the number one pick is concerned, and probably another one. Real quick, my buddy in here, Jarius, he says if Rodgers goes to the Jets, Tannehill comes to the Falcons. Thoughts? Now, the only thing about that, Darius, is that the GM last week in the combine, he said that Tannehill was staying on board. When they asked about that, so I think they're going to stick with that. That would have possibly been something to think about, but they're going to stick with that. Lisa says, I also agree, Steve, because the team hasn't committed fully to Ritter. That leads me to believe Terry's still cooking on the quarterback one position. So, Winston, what do you think going behind the walls of Flowery Branch and into the office? Do you think there's still a little sheet of paper on there talking about what if that they ready to show on Wednesday?
Almost definitely. I mean, first we got to address our left guard and our right tackle. We got to sign one or the other before the draft because Elijah Wilkinson isn't signed right now. He only had a 1-year deal, so we technically don't have a left guard. So either we're gonna fix the left guard, we're gonna fix the right tackle and bring McCurry back, or sign or draft one. Either way you put it, we can do that, restructure Grady, and still get Lamar Jackson. And that, to me, that's what I would go. I'll swing for the fence.
I don't blame you one bit, Kelly. I just put it in the chat, Kelly. If you're trying to sneak in there, I just put it in there. David, what you think, brother?
I called Grady in for a meeting, and I tell him straight up, look, Grady, we trying to do exactly what you asked us to do. We trying to do exactly the opposite of what you said in that exit interview. Same old S, different year. I said we're trying to flip some things up. We have to restructure you because we need this money because we're going after Lamar. And with the Jonnu, and we still got 33 million left. We restructured Grady, that's another 11. I think we're gonna get another 12 restructuring Jonnu. That leaves us at about 56 million. And I think that's gonna be enough for the initial payment on Lamar.
Right.
It's gonna be enough for the initial payment on Lamar, and also allow us to get a left guard and a right tackle.
Mm-hmm. That actually is well, you probably, if you're gonna make other moves, and I say bigger moves in free agency, you probably want to do them now. I did hear something interesting before I get to you, Tidy, where I did hear, and I'm trying to think, was that Ian Rappaport or was that Adam Schefter, where they were talking about the guaranteed money. I was not aware of this. Like last year when Deshaun signed his contract for $230 million, the team has to give a check to the league. Now, in this position, because it's a situation where Baltimore still has the right to match, Atlanta has to give a check to Baltimore to say, not Baltimore, to the NFL, and they have to hold that. I think they get, it's either 3 days, 5 days, or whatever it is. 5 days to match the contract. And in that time, everybody else still doing willing and dealing with free agency. So Atlanta has to put everything on hold before they're able to sign. And guess what? In 5 days at the beginning of free agency, all these players, the Jesse Bates would have been gone. The Ayumados would have been gone. We might not have been able to make that move for Smith. Ellis might not have been available. So maybe that's why it makes sense for them to do these moves now and then kind of hedge their bets on none of these teams making a move for Lamar. Because again, if everybody is still doing the moves they're making, Aaron Rodgers to New York, all the other stuff, there aren't many quarterback options left. So you might see us, maybe the Raiders. What other teams really would be in that category where we're looking for a quarterback? It's not that many, right? Is there anybody else?
Colts,
Jackson.
Yeah, Indianapolis.
I can't include the Colts because they're going to get a quarterback. They're in the top 4. They're going to draft a quarterback. I don't see. If I was getting Lamar Jackson, I'm not taking one of the top 4 quarterbacks in the league. That would almost be like a oxymoron to do that. So, like I said, not taking. Chicago's not taking a quarterback. They already drafted out. Carolina's taking a quarterback. Texans are taking a quarterback. The Colts.
Texans was in the running for Jimmy Garoppolo.
Say what now?
The Texans was in the running for Jimmy Garoppolo.
They were, but not anymore. Not anymore. So, I mean, you only have us, the Raiders, and I think I just see down here, Dre is right. Washington, maybe. So, Bottom Boy says, no LJ, y'all talking crazy. Okay, Bottom, well, you know what? Maybe so, brother. We'll see. Talk to me, Tiny. What do you think, man? Are we talking crazy?
No.
Oh, shit.
Saying today, any conversation about Lamar Jackson, y'all can't afford him, y'all don't be upset, whatever. Hey man, look, it's still there. It's still there. Come on, man. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Talk to me, Toddy. What you think?
I think I think it would be wise for us to still be in play for him. As you mentioned not long ago, you don't want to have a repeat of last season when you still like you say Cleveland, we added some pieces, but the quarterback situation is still a little spooky. So like I said before, maybe we just weighing this thing out, man. We're going through free agency. You may go through the draft. And if Lamar still is there, you know, maybe you pull the trigger on him. But at the end of the day, everybody has speculated what Lamar wants. Like you say, Steve, if that number is 250 guaranteed, you can't do it. But as we all know, it's only been speculation.
That's true.
That nobody from Lamar's side has came out and said this is what we want. And I keep going back to this, and people gave me a little backlash when I talked about it. But Stephen A. Smith said he talked to somebody right in Lamar's camp that said he never asked for a fully guaranteed contract. So maybe instead of 250, maybe that number is at 175, 180. Who knows? And if it's at 175, 185, it makes it a lot easier for a team like the Atlanta Falcons.
We built. If that number, we built.
and you just said it, man. You be better. I want to read the comments because I love reading the anti-Lamar comments. They're more fun than the pro comments. Move on. Get your team better where you can. Find a quarterback in the draft, even though we're number 8 and they'll be gone. And build some competition for a year at quarterback. They're going to run the ball first anyway. Get everybody else. Run the ball. Stop the run. See which one of those quarterbacks can manage the game. Let's roll.
So we talk about 6 and 11 again. So that's what we talk about next year again, right?
Steve, you know what's crazy about that? I shouldn't say it's crazy, but my rebuttal on a comment like that is I think we ran the ball so much because we couldn't pass, first of all. Right. You know, notice when Ritter came in, they passed the ball a lot more. But this is the point I'm trying to make. Fontenot, Arthur Smith, you telling me you take Kyle Pitts at number 4, then you come in the very next draft and you take Drake Leonard at number 8, and you just want them to block. You know, you want them to block.
Make it make sense.
Yeah, so that itself don't make a lot of sense. At some point, you got to get them somebody who can, be a viable thrower of the football for them. So at some point, you got to bring that quarterback in here. If you're just gonna hedge all your bets on Joe Montana Jr., Desmond Ritter.
or maybe, Tidy, maybe they're such geniuses that they knew 82 picks later they would find a prototypical quarterback in the league, and he would be so great that he could lead this team to a Super Bowl. Maybe that's it. Am I missing something?
That must be it.
I mean,
advanced scout.
Gotta be.
Look, obviously, it's a large tongue in cheek, but when I'm wondering why. It's two extremes. Why is there so much faith in Dave Archer? I mean, Desmond Ritter.
You call that guy Dave Archer.
And why is there such vitriol towards Lamar Jackson? Now don't get me wrong, Facebook user or anybody else who doesn't like the idea of bringing Lamar in. We're not dumb. We're not going to overspend for him. We're not going to do anything like that. I agree with that part before we even start. But if there's an opportunity to talk about getting one of the top 5 talents at the quarterback position, talents, and you're going to sit here and tell me that you would rather hedge your bets on a maybe. No, not hedge your bets on a maybe. Hedge your bets on a could be, rather than to take your chance on a former MVP player. I mean, I don't know. It just make it make sense, Winston. Make it make sense.
Hey, man. It makes absolutely no sense. Like, there's a reason why that man was drafted in the 3rd round, but he was the 2nd quarterback taken off the board. That means everybody else skipped on him 2.5 times before we decided to pull the trigger.
That was the plan.
Lamar Jackson just won an MVP 3 years ago, and he's 26. He haven't even entered his prime yet. So if he'd already won an MVP while on his rookie contract, imagine what he's capable of doing. Not saying that he will do it, but imagine what his potential could be.
And let me even throw this in there, David. I think, and I'll keep it real with y'all. Prior to Carolina making that jump, I would have been satisfied with saying, let's get in position for one of these quarterbacks. But guess what? When that move was made, your chances of getting a quarterback in the draft have gone down. I'm not telling you Hendon Hooker wouldn't be viable in the second round or third round, but you're hedging your bets on that too, because he could possibly be the first thing off the board in this particular draft. What you think, David? I mean, is this crazy talk, or would you still keep your hat in the ring for Lamar?
No, that's not crazy talk, Steve. Because I mean, let's see. Okay, Panthers are taking a quarterback. Texans are taking a quarterback. Indianapolis is taking a quarterback. Raiders may still take a quarterback because we know Jimmy Garoppolo's injury history. Right. So that means we're gonna have to jump. We're gonna have to get in front of at least the Raiders. And yeah, we're gonna have to get in front of at least the Raiders. And do Fontenot and Arthur Smith have time to wait on Anthony Richardson? Because we know he's a major project. Upside through the roof, but he is a major project. So I'm sorry. Like I said, had that meeting with Grady, get him to restructure his deal, and let's go ahead and let's throw all our chips in on Lamar. Because if you're telling me that we're going into the season with Desmond Ridder as the starter, I'm gonna tell, like y'all said last year, see Cleveland. All these nice pieces, but I'm telling you, Desmond Ridder's gonna wreck the car. He's going to wreck the car.
Look at the Jets.
Yeah.
Yep.
Zach Wilson held them back. They had everything under the sun. Zach Wilson held them back from going to the playoff.
Exactly. We're gonna have a nice little Jesse Bates. We're gonna have nice little help from Grady up front. We probably have a nice little receiving core, but nobody to get them the football.
Let me get two of these comments in here real quick. Raymond says, hey, Terry has the deck in his hand and still dealing. Not finished yet. I hope so. I go to Greg Johnson. What's up, Namesake? Namesake says they're building a complete team, not relying on one player to carry it. Who said one player was going to carry it? That not in one part of this conversation did we say that's all you needed. There is not one soul. I have not heard John, Tidy, Winston, David, anybody that I've talked to said about Lamar that that's all we need. Nobody has said that. See, that's the one thing. That's the narrative that gets played too. The narrative of, well, y'all just want one player and you just want to get entertained. You dang right I want to get entertained. For the money I'm paying out there, you dang right I want to get entertained. That's one of the dumbest things I ever heard. You want to? I absolutely do want to. Do I want to win? Absolutely. Do I want to get entertained? Yeah, because if we're not winning, I'd rather be entertained at the stadium.
Not very entertaining.
That's one of the oxymoron that I just hear people say that. But Greg, nobody's saying one person is going to carry it. Never have I said that, or anyone else who probably wants him said that. That's just crazy. WTC said, I know you're going to hate me saying this, but you tell Grady to restructure Oh, you don't let the door hit you on. Oh, no, Grady.
One thing about the restructure, Steve, like 85, essentially for the very most part, essentially every NFL contract has an automatic reset, which means the team don't have to get the player's permission to restructure. The only thing they got to do is notify the player or the player's representative.
But look,
and he's still getting his money.
I was biggest thing about to say that part. People act like a restructure doesn't mean you're not getting your money. You're getting your money.
It's not a pay cut.
Yeah, it's not.
You're getting it up front. You're getting it up front.
Get it up front instead. I think go ahead.
Okay, no, go ahead.
No. You were explaining it good. Go ahead, Winston.
So basically, with a restructure, you have your annual salary, but instead of that, I'm gonna cut down your annual salary. I'm gonna give it to you in some type of bonuses. You get your money before the season even starts for the majority of the year. So your salary in the year is lower, but you get your money up front before you even go to OTAs and stuff. When you get restructured, you get a check. That's your bonus. That's the majority of your yearly salary right there.
Right.
All they're doing is help cut down on the cap hit for that season.
Do you think that people equate restructuring with a bailout or something?
No, they equating it with a pay cut.
Yeah,
it's not a pay cut.
You know what? That's probably what it is. It's listen. Go ahead.
Cause see, I mean, okay, you've seen, and this is the thing with people, and I don't understand it. You've seen Matt Ryan get restructured how many times?
Time and time again.
Showtime.
What that
bad to back.
Yeah.
Time and time again.
Yeah. And Matt Ryan got all of the money under that restructure for that year. Didn't deserve it, but he got it. He got his money. So I mean, it's just like, you know, it's just like that. Oh, and to your point, something else too. See, we have spending anxiety. The Falcons fan base has anxiety because it's just like, you know, they got a little something on the paycheck. They, you know, and they don't want to spend that money. They want to make sure that they hold on to all that money and be real tight with it when they do spend it. And, you know, but thing is that every team is going to end up in salary cap hell at one time or another. It's how you get out of it. It's how you get out of it that shows what type of front office and what type of team you got. And we're, you know, the sun has come out with us. Yeah. The doors have opened up. We got some money.
When you start talking about, though, what New Orleans did year after year after year after year, and we see they stayed competitive. So we're at a point where we can probably, which is probably why they're giving some of this money up front to Jesse Bates. And I don't even know how they're going to do Lindstrom, because I think his $13 million has to count this year for the
the fifth-year option
contract. And
then we get into his contract.
But they can probably be creative with the first year of his contract after that. But I think this year has to say set in stone. I was getting to somebody who, hold on one second. They were talking about the draft. Here it is. Kenzel said it doesn't make much sense, but remember Matt Ryan at one time was an MVP too. I believe you might have to draft a quarterback in the later rounds. Remember Richardson showed out during the draft. Yeah, here's the deal right here too. I mean, if you're comparing Matt Ryan to say what? I'm just trying to get where you're coming from, Kenzel.
Lamar.
I mean, he was a MVP in his eighth year, eighth or ninth. Year nine. He was an MVP in ninth year on the other end of his second contract. You can't compare that to the third year in the league and whatever. This is what I wanted to get to. The draft right here, if y'all see to the right, Carolina will get a quarterback. Houston will get a quarterback. Arizona will not. Indianapolis will get a quarterback. There might be a chance that Seattle, even after signing Geno, because Geno's contract really is only good those first 2 years.
Yeah.
Detroit, even though they're going to go ahead and stick with Jared Goff this year, could get a quarterback. The Raiders are in the quarterback business. So again, when I see people saying, why don't you go in the draft? This is not saying Hendon Hooker can't be that guy later on. Matter of fact, I think Hendon Hooker, if he didn't get hurt, would probably be one of these top 10 guys. But if you're Atlanta at 8, you're not going to get up there unless you ended up doing like Carolina and trading basically half your draft to get up into the number 1 position. I don't see them doing that. So if you're Atlanta, you're going to have to look at that lonely list that we just saw a few minutes ago of quarterbacks, or you got to, shoot your shot at Lamar and see what you can get. So that's the reason why I was, kind of bringing that stuff in just to show people what the chances of getting a quarterback were. Joining us on the stream after probably dealing with a very, very lackluster performance today from our Atlanta Hawks is our brother Larry. He's in the Dixon way. All y'all make sure y'all check him out. Live reaction videos of all the top Atlanta sports. I know he was probably dealing with some hard feelings today because I saw them down by double digits early in this game. Man.
One time going to the wreck.
Goodness gracious. Talk to me, brother.
One time going to the wreck.
Look, your son said, "Yeah, Daddy, they suck." He was telling me, he like, "Daddy, I'm trying to make you feel good because I know that game."
Daddy, don't cut this on the TV no more.
You got your mute on, Larry. Larry, you got your mute on. You got your mute on.
There we go.
There you go. There you go.
You were cussing anyway.
Yeah.
You were cussing anyway.
Man, I appreciate y'all having me on, man. I want to talk about some good news with the Falcons after I watched my host get my host has got whooped up on, man.
Dude, I just real quick before you get into the Falcons, that puts us at 34-35, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we keep hanging around.
Yeah. Is it even? I know getting in 6th place is probably out of the realm, but do we still have a shot at that 7-8 game as it stands right now? A real good shot.
Yeah, we're right there in the 7-8 spot right now. The problem is the Hawks can never get any momentum. After DeJounte Murray had a 41-point night, his career best about 5 games ago, he's been on a 4-game sled.
Yeah.
He ain't been the same. It's barbecue and mildew time right now. We can't sit around and pill around and hope we find it. Guess what? This is who we are, guys. We're mid-team. We traded away 3 future first-round picks for this.
Yep.
DeJounte is a good stealer of the ball, but he is still undersized, maybe 6'4", 6'3.5". He plays good, solid defense, but again, and actually, he showed Trae Young how to play better defense. The past about 15, 20 games, Trae Young has played at a better level. He's an average defender now, which is a huge improvement.
Which is elite.
But the problem is now, Trae Young had his backpack on. Come on, guys, come with me. He got a section. He said, come on. Scored 41 points. Shot over 50% tonight. And the team just lay down. And I'm sorry, man, but if Trae Young asked to be traded, I won't even be mad like I thought I would. Because they're not building around them. I don't know if it's the owner's son who done messed up everything that Travis Slink left. Rumor was that he wanted to get rid of Krispy Kreme. Y'all don't know who Krispy Kreme is. You should be watching this, Dixon Way. Krispy Kreme is John Collins. John Collins had a whole 5 points tonight out of 27 minutes. A whole 5 points in 27 minutes of play.
Oh, man.
DeJounte Murray, before the fourth quarter, had a whole 2 points.
Y'all should have traded Collins back when he had some trade value.
Yeah,
back in the offseason.
The more John Collins played,
I want to go Cam Reddish.
His trade option go. And $25 million sound like $45 million right now.
I want to go Cam Reddish.
Ain't nobody.
Cam Reddish trash. Don't give me that.
Nobody taking that $25 million.
Cam Reddish done been tossed around. He went to the Knicks, who needed a 2-guard. They left him. He went out to Portland. He had one good game against us. That was the best game he had all season against us.
Let me do an easy transition to another team that in Atlanta named for a bird that mediocre. That's the Atlanta Falcons.
Hey,
so we made some moves today, Brother Larry. And I think some really good moves for initial starting. Tell us your initial thoughts about the move. We all rated from 1 to 10 what you thought, 10 being the highest. What you think about that, and who is your first person on the list that we did not make a move on today that you'd like to see us bring in?
Solid. I say I give him a solid B-. I want like Hargrave, or something like that. But getting the young guy to the Saints, Hurst the Saints, helps us. He's familiar with the defense coordinator. We got him relatively cheap, so I like that. What I didn't like about that is it may spell that we're not going to go after Jalen Carter, since we kind of got a D lineman, a D tackle. Grady is labeled as a D tackle. So that kind of gets me at, okay, if Tyree Wilson ain't there, or we going to go Peter Skronsky, because we don't know what's going on with McGarry. Great. The best move was tying up Lindstrom. That was the best move, period.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Getting Bates was an excellent move. He's a thumper and he's a coverage. I saw a stat that he was like 3rd or 4th in the league of pass breakups. Got an eye for the ball, breaks them up. You know what I'm saying? Like secondary, we needed that on the backside. And he's a thumper. So I love that. That's an A+. Getting tight end who have a lot of talent. But how many tight ends we're going to get? Let me stop.
Hey, man. Hey.
Let me calm down, because I know we run 2 tight ends all the time.
Hey, man.
All of them. We getting all of them.
So you want to play tight end? The Falcons looking for you.
Let me put somebody's comment in here. It's me, Rodney says, do you think we swap the 1st round pick and give the 2nd round pick to the Lions and get Will Levis? I'm not sure if the Falcons, and it's a good question, Rodney.
Yes.
I'm not sure if the Falcons are going to be in the business of giving up any, unless the business in Baltimore picks up. I don't think it's going to be anybody else that they're going to be interested in giving picks away, especially a 2nd round pick this year, just to get. And I'm pretty sure Detroit is going to ask for more than that.
Yeah,
if they just saw what Carolina got in that highway robbery. So
yeah,
I don't think
I'm not trading up to try to get any of these other quarterbacks. They're not really worth it. They're not really worth it.
Like,
if Anthony Richards fell to us, I'd be like, okay, I see what you're doing. But I would rather a defender there. That's just me. If you already started on the defense, then make the defense better. I don't know who you're going to pick on, Brissett or whoever. To me, right now, it looked like they're going to do what Philadelphia did. They're going to build up all around. I don't know about giving him umpteen tight ends, but whatever. Right now, can you guys tell me how much cap we got left? I know that
prior to the Ellis signing today, I know it was at 34.
34 we done spent.
Right.
34 left.
Right. So
right, 34 left.
Right.
All right. So we're gonna need at least between 15 and 20 to sign our rookie. You guys agree on that around 15?
Not necessarily.
It's about like 8-9. It's like $8-9 million.
Not $9 million.
It's like $8-9 million.
About 9.
I thought the number 8 would get more, but I'm sorry, I apologize.
No, it was number 8 last year.
8 million to 10 million max. I feel better about that.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that we're gonna give McGarry? I think it's a good thing that no one offered him anything right now. We might be in the catbird seat, especially with Chicago getting McClinchy. I think between them and Denver trying to get McClinchy.
You know what I thought, Larry? When I didn't hear anything about because remember, because even though we didn't sign him to his 5th-year option, we still had opportunity prior to this morning of redoing Caleb's deal and trying to get that. And that didn't happen. When we decided not to tag him up to yesterday, we were the only team that could have negotiated something with him. So the mere fact,
didn't get it done. So he's
right
up out of here, deuces.
Exactly. So I think his agent said, "Hey, let's see what we're looking at as far as the tackle market." Winston brought up a good fact because I brought up not Taylor Lewan. What's the other cat? Kansas City today.
Jawan Taylor.
Jawan Taylor got his $20 million per. But that's at left tackle. The right tackle is probably going to get a smidge less than that, but that's still in the neighborhood of $15 million. I don't think we're going to be in the business of giving McGarry $15 million. Now, you brought up Sorowski out of Northwestern.
Yeah,
that could be a very interesting thought at number 8 if all other things, if no quarterback slides down, if Jalen Carter, I don't know about y'all. I think if you're talking about if the guy from Texas A&M is gone,
Wilson.
I'm not sure if I'm feeling what's his name, Van Ness or Miles Murphy at that position. I know a lot of people have been talking about Christian Gonzalez. I'm not sure if he'd be 8-2. That's somewhere I might put my man from Northwestern because he sounds like he's going to be the top graded out offensive line in this draft. So that's something you said his name, Larry. I think that's somebody.
Peter Skronsky. Either him or D. Jones out of Ohio State are rated as the top offensive lineman coming out in the draft. Both of
Jones is a tackle or guard? Jones.
Was a tackle, was a guard. Well,
I think he's the left tackle.
Both of them are tackles, but Peter Skronsky got shorter arms, so he grades out more as a guard. You could have the best interior line in the NFL if you slid Skronsky inside. He can play right.
Somebody's agreeing with you.
His arms are too short, kind of like the dude we got on the left right now. But he got way better footwork than Matthews ever had.
Hey, Skronsky a technician like Lindstrom.
So really,
I'm gonna be honest.
I will put him at left. I know that's gonna hurt some people's feelings. Jake Matthews.
It's not gonna hurt anybody's feelings.
But look, I will put Skronsky at left because his talent. He may have short arms, but he got ballerina feet. If y'all watch the combine, that dude did not fumble or trip on any drills. So
if I put him at left guard. I try to get Jawan Jones in the second and put him at right tackle. That man, he massive. He like 6'8", like 350.
Now, here's the thing. If I would get Jawan Jones, maybe I think Peter Skronsky is great now because of his combine. They were kind of close. But when you see his footwork and no one tripped, he never tripped on any running cones or anything. If Peter Skronsky come out, we grab him and move back into the first round, I wouldn't be mad at that. I think right then and there, even if we run with Ritter, I don't know, but we're going to build up a line just like the Cowboys did with Dak. And that's why Dak and Ezekiel Elliott looked so well at the beginning of their career.
No, the reason why Dak and Zeke look so well because they built their offensive line the 3 years prior
Well,
to
that's
them
what,
doing that. They had
what
the
I'm
best.
saying. It's not at the same time, but I mean, we will build up an awesome line.
No. Go ahead, Winston.
Oh, sorry.
If that was a move, if we did get Skaronski and then end up getting Jones, and we did, God forbid, run with Ritter, he would have no excuse.
No, he really wouldn't.
He would have no excuse. There is no more hiding. Ain't no more rookie curve. None of that. You got to go out there and show and prove. And if you don't, then it is what it is. To the bench you go for your last 2 years.
The way they moving. Moving like they not gonna go for quarterback. They moving like they gonna get a
that's exactly what it's looking like. But at the same time, they sitting on 40 mil.
Yeah.
But again, this is a lot of ifs. We're basing a lot of if on someone we haven't seen on the high level, but for 16 quarters. Yeah. And again, if I'm making moves like they're making, I need to see just a little bit more from my third round quarterback before I am just going into the season saying, oh, well, whatever happens, happens. I don't think the Falcons are going for that. I think the Falcons need to be trying to do something now. You have an opportunity in the NFC South right now
to run away with
division. You really can, Winston. You can run away with this division.
You can run away with this division. Right. If our quarterback play is right, we can run away with this division with the moves that we done made. Fondo has secured his job. It's up to Arthur Smith to secure his. Win, lose, or draw, Fondo will be here after this season. But if Arthur Smith don't produce, if he don't end up winning this division this year, might as well take.
I got about 2 minutes left, fellas. I went over a little bit than I did, and obviously I appreciate everybody chiming in, and for all of you that came into the chat. I mean, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming in and talking about this stuff. We'll obviously pop in during the week. I do want to put a shout out to my other brothers in arms, Smitty Sports Machine and Alberto 95 North Sports Talk. They'll be on tomorrow to have some of the same talk at 8 o'clock. I also want to thank Tidy from Atlanta Bird Gang on YouTube. Y'all make sure y'all go and subscribe to him on his YouTube channel. Again, just to remind you all, on draft night, April 27th, we will be live here through the whole first round as we've been for the last 3-4 years. We'll be chatting it up, talking it up, got some special stuff lined up for y'all then. So the free agency is the first part. Obviously, the draft is the second part. Again, thank you all for doing that. I'm going to go around one last time with the group on this real quick before we end up getting out of here. As constructed today with the guys we brought in, and again, we got a long way to go. Are you more optimistic or pessimistic going forward about the 2023 Atlanta Falcons as constructed today? I'm going to start with you, Winston. As constructed is second.
As constructed, I'm optimistic, but tepidly. Because we still got a lot of holes that are very important. And I'm taking the quarterback out of the equation. We still got to figure out our left guard, our right guard. We need to upgrade at center. And eventually, to be honest, we need to draft Jake Matthews' eventual replacement. And we need to get edge and another corner. We'll be better. We'll be better, but how much is hard to gauge right now.
John, what you think, brother? Where's your thought? Optimistic or pessimistic?
Man, two polar opposites. Oh boy. No middle ground. Well,
no middle ground.
I'm going to have to be pessimistic. I am not comforted by the fact that we have a quarterback coach that ruined a Mitchell Trubisky and almost got somebody killed.
Hold on. For all of you people not from the South, he was saying ruined. So all of you not understanding that ruin is ruined in with the Kings like.
He ruined. I'll put some stank on it. He ruined.
Oh man, David, what you got, brother? Optimistic or pessimistic?
I'm gonna be slightly optimistic. I'm still gonna wait for the draft. I'm still waiting to see what we do at the quarterback position. But I'm slightly optimistic because we did make some decent moves today.
Larry, I'm sorry, David. Go ahead.
Yeah, Larry.
No, you go ahead, Larry.
I apologize.
I already talked too much. Go ahead, David.
Larry tired of yelling. Don't be trying to pan it off on him. You yell for 3 hours for a loss. Don't be.
Everybody's throwing a little bit sore, man, but I appreciate you guys coming. I'm sorry I made you go late since you.
No, you good, bro. What you got, Larry? Optimistic or pessimistic, bro?
I'm right down the middle, man. You know what? A lot of these moves where it seemed like I'm not gonna lie. At the beginning of the day, I thought a lot of these moves felt like rotational moves, to be honest. But I kind of see what Terry is doing now. We were definitely out of Lamar. The way he's moving, we were definitely out of Lamar. That's not even a question now. The main thing now is everyone's wondering what we're going to do with our signal caller. Are we going to at least get someone in here to challenge him? And if he wins the job, okay, fine. Even if it's a placeholder like Jacoby Brissett or, Teddy Bridgewater or something like that, in my opinion, they come in here, they're definitely giving him the job, 100%. But at the same breath, if it's an actual fair competition, then we'll see. Right now, quarterback-wise, we won't know unless we pick up somebody in the draft. But right now, the Falcons are moving like they're rocking with Ritter. They're moving, and their moves are moving like they're rocking with Ritter, and they're going to go the Eagles route and say, okay, we're going to build up around him and see what he does. And if we suck next year, because just like Winston said, as of right now, Terry is doing enough to try to save his job on paper. Where he did make moves, look like solid moves. Now let's wait until the draft and see what he does. If he go draft another tight end, then we'll talk again.
Darnell Washington
right
in the first round.
Man, you picked Darnell Washington.
Now you picked Darnell in the second round. I won't laugh at you, Toddy. I know you came back around. I hope you heard me, man. We were getting ready to wrap up, and I just went around the panel and asked everyone today. And we know it's early. We know it's day one, but we made a lot of moves. Still, right now, as constructed today, are you more optimistic or pessimistic about the Atlanta Falcons at this moment now? Uh-oh. Is he frozen?
Definitely. Can you
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. You were frozen for a minute. Go ahead. Uh-oh.
I thought he was in deep thought. Contemplation.
Ty, you look like you were thinking. I'm sorry. Go ahead, man. I think that internet playing. Trust me, this happened to me the other day, and I was in the middle of my stream, and the whole power, not the internet, the power went off. And when the power goes off, you gotta wait for your computer to boot up. You gotta wait for your internet to clam in, and all of that. We're gonna try it again, Toddy. You keep freezing on us, brother. Go ahead, man.
Can y'all hear me now?
We heard you the whole time. It was just kept freezing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. Damn cops.
Oh Lord.
There you go again.
That's why I keep going in and out. The internet keep coming in and out.
Right.
But y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, to answer your question, Steve, I'm more optimistic today. For the first time, and I don't know when, I was actually just excited about the Falcons today. We was able to spend some money. We was able to add to our roster. Definitely optimistic on my side than I was this same time yesterday.
Yeah, and again, I putting the question to myself. I think I'm just still pessimistic because I make no bones about my quarterback position, and I'm just not convinced that and again, we still got shopping to do. We still got things to do. I'm still not convinced that we are until I see what the plan is for my quarterback room. We can load up on every position on the field, but I have to feel good about my sixth caller. I have to feel good about who's going to be running my team. For the last 4 years, I haven't felt good about that particular position and whoever was in it. So maybe tomorrow or maybe next week, I might feel better knowing that we made a move. But again, I see all of the even mid-tier quarterbacks go off the board. So we're going to be rolling the dice, per se, with a third-string quarterback with 2.5 real game time experience. I know I keep saying that, but again, I don't think he played a full team the last 2 games. I don't think that was real life. I think that was a paid scrimmage against Arizona in Tampa Bay. So until I see some changes in that particular part, I'm gonna just say pessimistic for the moment, but with an asterisk. Hopefully we can move on and do a little better. Again, everybody, I appreciate the panel. Thank you so much. Thank you to Winston. Appreciate you, Winston. My brother Dave is in the house. As always, Dave is in there slumping down deeper and deeper into that high-value target chair that he bought. Is my brother John Harris. And last but not least, my 2 brothers. I want to let y'all tell them where you're going to be, Dave. I'm sorry, Larry. Tell everybody where you're at on YouTube, brother.
Man, the Dixon Way on YouTube, guys. Just check us out at _Dixon_Way. We do live watch parties where I commentate the game. Me and my wife did it tonight. And we go through it. We go through everything, a range of emotions during the game. If you're watching the game, turn your TV down, turn us up. Hopefully you're entertained. And we do the Braves, the Hawks, and the Falcons. So, yeah.
I don't even listen to the radio when y'all 2 on at work. I turn y'all on and just listen to you and stuff, because I mean, dude, we having sound effects and everything on there. So it is clearly entertaining. Y'all make sure y'all check my brother Larry out, and my brother in arms, Toddy. Man, tell him where you at on YouTube, my friend.
On YouTube, I'm at Atlanta Bird Game. Definitely come check us out sometime. Definitely will appreciate it.
As I told everybody before, Toddy and I, as we have for the last few years, we will be having draft coverage. We appreciate this crowd tonight. It was pretty nice. If y'all do me one favor, if you get a chance, like the video, subscribe to the video, subscribe to my compadres who are on here as well. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all very much. Everyone have a beautiful night, man. And hopefully these Falcons keep it cooking through the week with this EBT card. Y'all take it, man. Have a good one.
Peace, fella.